I cannot believe it is already week 7 of this NFL season. The season just started last month, and we are already over a third of the way through the entire regular season. It's kind of sad because the NFL season goes by so fast, but you just got to learn how to enjoy it when you have it. And I'm definitely going to enjoy a few of the games we have today because we have a pretty solid slate of action coming up for week 7. This is my week 7 predictions. You know the deal. But before we talk about week 7's action, I have to address my week 6 predictions that I did not upload a video of. And the reason I didn't upload a video talking about my week 6 predictions was because I was having a lot of problems recording and uploading a video for that, so I just simply couldn't do it. But it's all good because I am about to go over them very briefly right here. I'm literally just going to name off the teams that I thought were going to win last week. So I had the Chiefs over the Broncos, the Ravens over the Titans, the Falcons over the Commanders, the Bears over the Vikings. I know, that was stupid. The Bengals over the Seahawks, the 49ers over the Browns, the Saints over the Texans, the Jaguars over the Colts, the Dolphins over the Panthers, the Raiders over the Patriots, the Lions over the Buccaneers, the Rams over the Cardinals, the Eagles over the Jets, the Bills over the Giants, and the Cowboys over the Chargers. So with that said, I went 10-5 last week, which is pretty standard. I've pretty much been doing that the entire season. And the week before that, in my week 5 predictions, I went 8-6, which has definitely been my worst performance of predictions the entire season so far. Which brings my overall predictions record on the season to 60-33, which is not bad. I'm shooting over 60%. But we've still yet to have that week where I went nuclear and only got like 2 or 3 games wrong. Hopefully this is that week. So let's get into week 7. With Thursday Night Football, you already know I post my predictions for Thursday Night Football on my community tab. So if you're ever interested in what I think about the Thursday Night Football games, just go over there and I'll say who I think is going to win. I took the Jaguars to beat the Saints and they narrowly defeated them on Thursday Night Football. So we're starting off with a nice 1-0. Then heading into Sunday's action with a game that I am very excited for. This is actually one of the 3 games that I am most looking forward to this week, and that is, of course, the Lions taking on the Ravens. I think this has potential to be one of the better games of the season. You've got 2 great teams that have been performing really well this year, and like I said, I think this can be a very good game. But I gotta be honest, I do not have too much of a confident pick of who I think is going to win this game. Both of these teams are coming off of very good games last week. The Lions beat the Bucks, the Ravens beat the Titans, and they both did it fairly convincingly. It's just so hard to make a confident pick between these 2 teams, but I am leaning just a little more Ravens ahead of this game. I think the Ravens defense has what it takes to neutralize, maybe even stop this high-powered Lions offense. Also, keep in mind, the Lions are a little banged up. They won't have David Montgomery in this game, and other key players like Amon-Ra St. Brown have been battling nagging injuries throughout the season. The Ravens are also at home. Like I said, I do not have a confident pick for this matchup, but if I had to pick a team, I would go with the Ravens. But I am still very excited to see how this game plays out. Moving on to a must-see matchup between the Raiders and the Bears. The 2 starting quarterbacks in this game will be Brian Hoyer and Tyson Bagent. I'll try and make this quick. I'm taking the Raiders in this one. The Bears are not going to have Justin Fields in this game. He's injured. And if the Bears haven't looked good with Justin Fields, I'd imagine they're going to look a lot worse without him. It's as simple as that. I'm going with the Raiders. Browns versus Colts. This could actually be a somewhat interesting game. These are 2 teams that I would rank pretty similarly throughout this first chunk of the season. But listen, the Browns just pulled off one of the craziest upsets of the season and beat the 49ers last week without Deshaun Watson either. You'd be crazy to think I wouldn't take them to win their very next game after the week they just beat arguably the best team in the NFL. The Colts will be without Anthony Richardson for the rest of the season, which is a huge bummer. Hope he gets well soon. But as for this game, I'm taking the Browns over the Colts. Bills versus Patriots. The Bills almost lost to the Giants. They almost lost to the Giants last week. And they're going into another one of those games this week against the Patriots with a team that they shouldn't really struggle against. But I have fear that they might struggle against them because, one, they did it last week against the Giants. And two, the Patriots seemingly always play well, always play competitive against teams in their division. So I'm taking the Bills to beat the Patriots in the game. This is a game that they should win pretty convincingly to have a bounce-back game from whatever happened last week against the Giants. Commanders versus Giants. This is another game that I don't really have too much of a confident pick in. These are two NFC East divisional rivals. I would say these two teams are pretty similar to each other. I know the Commanders have a much better record than the Giants, but when you look at who the Giants have played this season, you can make a case that they've had the hardest schedule throughout this first chunk of the season. And I mean, just look at last week. They almost beat the Bills. It literally came down to two plays, one at the end of the first half and one at the end of the second half that were literally at the 1 yard line. I don't know. I just have a feeling that the Giants are due for a decent win, and I think it has a great chance of happening this game. You know what? I'm going to go with the Giants here. Yeah, I'm going to take the Giants to beat the Commanders in this game. Falcons versus Buccaneers in an NFC South matchup. The Falcons, 1 week, look like a genuine, good, solid team, and the next week look like they're tanking for Caleb. It's just so hard for me to gauge how good this Falcons team really is because they're so damn inconsistent. So in this game between them and the Bucs, I'm going to go with the Bucs. They're coming off of a bye week. They're at home. I believe they are the better, more talented team, and I'm going with the Bucs to beat the Falcons in this one. Steelers versus Rams. There is a serious conversation to be had on if the Rams are back. They've been very solid so far this season. They just got Cooper Kupp back, and he looks like he hasn't missed a step. They have key breakout players like Kyren Williams and Puka Nacua on their offense. And like I said, as a whole, they've just looked very solid. And I think they have a favorable matchup here against a Steelers team that is somehow 3-2. I think they are the worst above 500 team in the league. I'm taking the Rams to win this game and keep their pretty positive momentum going. Cardinals versus Seahawks, an NFC West matchup. There's actually a lot of interdivision games this week. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't got a lot to say for this one. I'm taking the Seahawks, who are at home. I think that's pretty much a given. Like I said, I don't have a lot to say for this one. Give me the Seahawks. Packers versus Broncos in what is probably going to be a very ugly football game. I'm not going to watch a sliver of this one. I'm going to take the Packers, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't even want to talk about this. Chargers versus Chiefs, one of my favorite divisional matchups in current day NFL. These games are always electric, high scoring, and just really fun to watch. They always come down to the wire, but the result still remains the same every time Mahomes and the Chiefs manage to pull it out, and I expect nothing different from this game right here. It's literally how every Chiefs-Chargers game has played out these past few years. It's at Arrowhead. You know Taylor Swift is going to be there. The Chiefs are going to have more plot armor from the league. It's in the script. The Chiefs are going to win this game in a thriller. Sunday Night Football, Dolphins versus Eagles. Oh man, this is going to be crazy. You've got two of the best teams in the league, at least record-wise. The Eagles are going to be wearing their Kelly Green throwbacks, which I cannot wait to see on field. Unfortunately, I don't think the Eagles are going to win in them. Yes, that's right. I'm taking the Dolphins to beat the Eagles in Sunday Night Football in Philly. The Eagles just haven't looked like that same team that they were last season. They're obviously still a top team, but they just haven't looked the same. They just lost to the Jets last week, and my confidence, my faith in this Eagles team has gone substantially down. Whereas the Dolphins have by far the best offense in the league going up against an Eagles defense that has not looked great this season. Specifically their secondary, which has just been very banged up and just hasn't been good. I think Tua, along with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, can have a field day on that Eagles secondary. But as much points as this Dolphins offense is going to be able to put up, they're going to give it right back on defense because let's face it, this Dolphins defense is not too great. I think this game is going to be a shootout. And when you look at these two teams, who's more equipped for a shootout of a game? It's the Dolphins. So I got the Dolphins winning this game in a shootout, probably a final score of like 34-31 or something like that. And then Monday Night Football, let's not waste too much time. The Vikings don't have Justin Jefferson. The Vikings are cooked. The 49ers are coming off of a bad week last week. I expect them to bounce back in this game against the Vikings. I'm taking the 49ers in this one. And so that's my Week 7 predictions. It feels good to be back. Hopefully, I can start uploading more videos soon because I won't lie, I've been slacking this season. I have not uploaded a lot, but let's hope that can change starting soon. That's all I got to say. Peace.